Hey everyone, this is Limited Power with the grand final from the fall tournament series single elimination tournament. This matchup is between Hal9000 and Cokeeiskalt, both winners of their semifinal matches, and you can check out those videos on this channel as well. For this game, let's take a look at the starting spell pool. It includes Guilty Bond, Coercive Agreement, Battle Vision, Gleam of Hope, Symbiosis, Drain Soul, Fire Blast, Transfigure, Death Spiral, and Renewal. Interesting setup here. Looking at these spells, the first ones that I see that kind of work together would be Fire Blast and Death Spiral. Outside of that, not a whole lot of cohesion between the spells that are available for selection here. Cokeeiskalt will have the first choice. They are going to go ahead and snag Fire Blast. It moves over to Hal9000. They take Transfigure. I like that pick here because it can give you some flexibility going forward if you want to change out spells that are in your repertoire. And Cokeeiskalt does go ahead and take Death Spiral. So that's a nice little combo they have set up for them to start the game. Hal9000 will take Hellstorm and right off the bat gets some high power mana cards. They will just take 3. They're going to swap out Hellstorm right away into Wrath to be able to deal some instant damage, especially then with Fire Blast not having any mana as well, looking for more damage on their next turn. And then they get 4 from the basic. Nice little first turn there for Hal. Comes back over to Cokeeiskalt. They will go ahead and take, Coercive. And their first move is just going to be to take the mana that Hal had been holding on to, cast Fire Blast for the 7, and then they should get the 2 from Death Spiral to finish out their turn. Come back over to Hal. This is one of my favorite little 2-card combos with Second Strike and Wrath. They did draw, though, a nice 4-power mana card, so just casting Wrath this turn, and then the 4 basic. Cokeeiskalt, continuing the trend of not keeping mana in hand, is going to grab Vile Laughter, cast that to deal the 6, and then the follow-up 2 from Death Spiral. Some big hitting turns here so far for Coke. Hal will grab Overload, Transfigure, switching out Overload to Possess right away. Again, the low mana from Coke is going to be exploited for 5, then 2 more from Wrath, and the basic for 3. These are some big hitting turns, not really combo-y, but just some straight damage coming out. Comes back over to Cokeeiskalt. They have some options here for regeneration spells. Guilty Bond, Drain Soul, literally doing nothing. Energy Storm isn't going to work with their flow with Vile Laughter and Fire Blast. And Renewed Fervor is not doing anything for them as well, so I'm guessing they're going to go with the regeneration. They are going to take Renewal here. That'll allow them to use Coercive to clear some mana, draw some more, and then hit for 9 again. Just another big hammer of a turn. And now that Hoodwink is on the board, Hal is going to be looking at that to take it. Again, these are just turns where Hal is looking to punish for no mana in hand for Cokeeiskalt and or no basic attack. Gets the full 6 and moves on. Now Coke is looking at some new mana. Draws a 4 though. Be interesting to see how they play this out. Yeah, they're just going to bury that 4. Draws another 4. I have a feeling that's going to get buried as well. It does. I think they would have preferred to see the 4 come up now with Renewal, and instead they just get a 2 off of it, and they'll go ahead and just use that for the basic. Would have been nice to pull that after having cast Vile Laughter. Coming back over to Hal9000, Cokeeiskalt for the first time has mana in hand, so that Wrath is going to get diminished just a little bit. They could look maybe at Painful Vision. That would hurt their Possessed, though. They are going to take Guilty Bond, try and target the cards in hand, Transfigure for the full draw, Second Strike for 3. They will go for Guilty Bond, and they correctly guess the 1 that is in hand for Cokeeiskalt. They'll probably go right back to it. Oh, they're going to go to Wrath first, and 2 of those cards come out. And then Hal moves over just to a basic. Okay, that's interesting. They're diminishing their mana. I think for Hal there, I might have gone for the Guilty Bond again and stopped using Wrath simply because it would have guaranteed the damage. Not sure if that'll play out in the end. So Coercive to discard some cards, Renewal to draw up, 7. And the 2 from Death Spiral. And Hal had it right because Fire Blast was coming through. There are no cards now for Guilty Bond to target this turn. So can switch out for Gleam of Hope and then can cast Wrath, can draw up, cast Possessed after we get the reshuffle, and then has some mana for a basic for 2. Back over to Cokeeiskalt. I don't really see them here taking a different path as far as replacing Death Spiral. This combo is working well for them. Maybe Rejuvenation to draw up. That's not bad at all. Death Spiral or Vile Laughter. Maybe a little surprised here that they held on to the 2s rather than burying them. Could have buried the 2s and gotten an extra damage off there. But they're not gonna cast Renewal. They are just gonna go ahead and basic with one of those 2s. So that's the reason for keeping it. So it comes back to Hal here. Cokeeiskalt definitely has lethal potentially showing with Coercive into Fire Blast into Death Spiral for 9. So Hal needs to try and find 16. And I'm just not seeing it. You can get 4 off of Hoodwink and 2 off of Wrath. Don't even know if changing anything out here really helps much. Let's go ahead and see what they do. Transfigure. They are going to change out for Painful Vision. To get the 5. Basic for 2. But that should wrap it up. This was a well played game by Cokeeiskalt. Yeah, they get the renewal. There's the 7. The follow-up 2 from Death Spiral, and congratulations to Cokeeiskalt on winning the Fall Tournament Series Grand Final. TTR.